So exciting. Finally, we're going to have so many awesome sessions that have been building up with excitement among the bloggy members. Hi, blog members. Hi,
Hey
Erik.
guys.
Hi, Erik. Hi, Emma.
Hey Mama, I love you.
I love you too so much. It was so weird. I was kind of like dazed, kind of like in the morning, trying to wake up, and I thought, wait, there's somebody that's dead that I'm really upset about. Is it Denise, my sister? No. And then I realized, oh God, yeah, that's right. Erik died. It was the weirdest moment. It's like, how could I forget that? But anyway, I won't dwell on that because we have a lot of material to cover. Let's start
She's
it with
going, Mom, I don't want you to remember that. I
I
want you to
know.
remember the day I was born. That was
There,
the good day.
that was a very good thing. All right, let's start out with the shortest session. And
Okay.
that's going to be, I think, about the Mothman. A lot of people have shown this interest in this legendary creature that is like 10 feet tall, has wings and red eyes. Sounds kind of creepy. All black. So can you get him in? Or Erik, would you just like to answer the questions for us about him?
Well, he says, I can answer the questions for you. We can connect to him a little bit
Okay.
if you want.
Okay.
He's
Well, I'll leave it to
saying
you.
the only reason I'm doing it is because they live on a very high frequency and it might get Emmanuel off track.
Okay. Well, let's not do that. So it is real.
It is very real, and
Cool.
the thing is, like I said, their frequency is extremely high. So people will get headaches around them. People will feel nauseous. They'll start getting ill, and it's just because their frequency doesn't match ours.
Well, Emma, girl, you do not need any of that. So let's just rely on. Well, what are you? Some people say you're just the sin. What is it? Some people say it's like they've been seeing something called the sandhill crane, this actual bird that's really big with a huge wingspan. But that's not the case.
No, he's saying these are alien. This is an alien species. This is a species from a different planet. They are, he says they're coming from the Andromeda galaxy.
Andromeda?
And how do you say it?
I think, it's probably more than one way to pronounce it, but I just say Andromeda.
Andromeda, or I don't know. I heard Andromeda, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
He says they're from that galaxy. Now he's saying that their planet was. He says past tense was. If you want to look at it from our timeline perspective, was a planet that was very similar to ours. So it's very foresty, had a lot of water. However, the planet, it's almost like it went through a collision of some sort with another. Just kind of looks like a rock, like a big rock. It just went through a collision, destroyed the planet, and it looks like only a few of them made it out in time. And Earth was the closest to what they were looking for. And so that's why they actually came here. There's actually 5 of them, Mom.
Oh, that's all? Oh.
And they're a little bit spread out over the planets. There's one that's in Russia as well. There's one in Africa. It looks like they kind of spread out over different continents.
Okay. Well, are there any 2 together so they can make baby Mothmen and women? I mean,
he says no. He says no.
Are they immortal? I mean,
let's just say they have a very long lifespan. They will go up to thousands of years.
Wow. When did they get here?
He's saying a long, long time ago, Mama.
Wow. Are they almost about to die? That old?
No. He's talking about it looks like the Inca times, that kind of period.
Okay, so are they old and about to die? Kick the bucket?
They're getting up there. He's saying one of them has already passed over. So there were originally 5. There's 4 now.
Okay.
the thing is, he says, a lot of people are afraid of them because they don't look very appealing to us. They look kind of scary, and they really are not. They are really um, they really want the best for this planet. They don't want people to, they don't want their planet. How do you say it? They don't want our planet for us to be destroyed by us, because they
Yeah.
can see that, we're not taking good care of them. They understand how important it is. Of
Yeah.
course, their situation was different, he says, because it was something they couldn't control. It was something from out of space. But they know what it feels like to lose a planet, to be somewhere else that's not your home. So they really care about us, and they care about the environment that they're in.
Okay. Well, that's
Um,
good. So why did they? So they chose Earth because it was kind of like their original planet.
right. And he says, the problem is they really want to protect us, but whenever they want to reach out, people start running and
Well,
screaming.
yeah. Hey,
you
can you
know?
describe them for the public, Eric, so that people will understand what they mean by that?
Well, they don't look as horrible as people assume they do, but the problem is a lot of people will see them in the dark, and then
Yeah.
the human mind will start creating things that are not there.
Yeah.
Um, so they do have kind of like a human-like body. However, they do not have hands. Basically, the arms get kind of flow into feathers. They actually have feathers.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people think they look like bats, but they don't have that skin. They actually have feathers. Like,
Okay.
I would consider them like fallen angels a little bit. They
Yeah.
look like an angel. Um, their facial features, they do not have hair. They don't have ears. Um, they I would compare it a little bit. A lot of people know about the Men in Black, and that might be another subject that would be cool to discuss.
Okay.
They kind of have the similar facial features. So there's not a lot of ears, there's no hair, they're just you just go, they're just bald. But what's very common what's really striking on them is they have these really red eyes, and they can't glow. It's not like you have to shine a light in them in
Yeah.
order to make them glow like an animal. You
Yeah.
need to see the reflection, and you see the animal's eyes. They actually glow in themselves, and it's night vision for them. They
Hmm.
can see very perfectly clear. It's kind of like night goggles that they wear.
Are they
Um,
nocturnal?
they are nocturnal, and although sometimes they do come out during the daytime, he says, but that's usually to really make a point or to be seen for a specific reason. Um, because what a lot of people don't understand is they're trying to kind of give a signal that something isn't right. They want to kind of warn people in some way or form.
Yeah.
For instance,
I've heard that. I've
this
heard that.
one, the biggest one, he says, was Chernobyl.
Oh.
A few days before Chernobyl, exploded, or the whole big disaster, they were seen. They were seen that this was reported to the police. This was reported to the Russian government, um, and they basically didn't do anything about it. So they
Well, I
didn't
mean,
investigate why they were there. They just thought, people probably crazy.
well, but seeing
Uh,
seeing Mothman does not translate into doing something to avoid Chernobyl. So they're gonna have to work on their
exactly.
messaging. Is all I can say. Send us a memo.
Exactly.
Hey, dudes.
And that's the problem. He says that's the problem. A lot of alien species have the possibility to communicate on a mental level, on a
Mhm.
telepathy level. They don't. They
Oh,
can't. They're not that far advanced yet.
okay.
They're actually very close to us when it comes to the evolution
Okay.
of their species. So what they do is they communicate with sound, but their sound is at such a high pitch that
Oh.
people's minds can't handle it, and that's the problem. So they just try to show up and say, hey, after I showed up, this happened. So this is the only way they can communicate with a human being. So
So they're hoping we get the pattern. Would they probably hope they.
people will see the pattern that when you see us, something's going to happen. You need to check everything, Um, he says what they usually do is they'll go and go in the facility of the object that needs to be checked, or they'll go when it comes to Virginia, they went to go one of them went to go sit on the bridge. They're trying to
Right.
make it clear in that way.
The
But
Silver Bridge, and it collapsed right after that sighting. So they were trying to warn about the collapse of Silver Bridge. I mean, that's a theory, but so that's true, huh?
it is true. And he's saying, the governments know about these creatures. They they just blow them off. Not really important.
Okay.
If a few million people get contaminated with radioactivity, not really that important. Gets
Wait,
rid of
so
the bunch of
wait, wait, wait,
population.
wait, wait, wait. So the government knows that
Yes,
they are portenders of doom, that their their sightings are related to a disaster,
they do.
and they don't want to do anything about it.
No, because it's just their way of eliminating a few people. Less
Okay.
less tax, less money to pay out when they go into pension, things like that.
Jesus. All right.
God,
So, are they
that's
interdimensional?
horrible.
I
That's
know.
so horrible. I'm like, what? But nothing surprises me anymore. I've read so many things now about what government is doing to us. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Hey, we need to
I
have a
kind of
whole session on the government and what they're doing that's nefarious. But we might
I
get in
know.
trouble. Who knows? But so, are they interdimensional? Can they switch from one dimension to the next?
No, they can't.
Okay. Do they have special powers that we don't have? Besides flying, they can fly, I guess, huh? They have wings.
Well, what's going on is because their energy, remember, Mom, I said at the beginning that their energy frequency is really high.
Hmm.
So, what happens is because they're so high in frequency, they can actually, kind of like a bat can see, with their sonar, they
Oh.
can actually see
Oh.
energy patterns, and they can see the future. They can predict the future, what is going to happen, because they have these internal sonars that just
Mm.
zoom into all this energy that's there. So they can internally they have this kind of like an internal guide system to
Hmm.
certain catastrophes. Now, when it came to their planet, they had the same thing.
Mm.
They just didn't have the tools or the weapons. They're not violent at all. They might scare some people, and they do eat animals to feed on,
Oh, I was going to ask,
just
what do
like
they
us.
eat? Yeah, so are they carnivores
They're
or
carnivores. They
or
do eat.
omnivores? Are they omnivores?
No, they're carnivores. They eat
Okay.
solely meat.
Do they eat humans?
No.
Oh, that's good. Well, how did they get here from their planet?
He's just showing me a ship.
Like a
Doesn't look that
spaceship.
advanced to me. Yeah, it doesn't look that. It almost looks like just like an escape pod thing.
Well, how did they get so
It,
far? I mean, how long did it take them to get here, or were they able to transcend space and time, like going through wormholes or something?
he says, well, it took him a while to get here. He's given me about 100 years to get here.
Did they have
Um,
to go in the state of suspended animation or cryo, whatever, freeze themselves?
yeah, they do have something similar. It's not anything like cryogenic. He's showing me like with injections. It
Okay.
lowers the heart rate in some way. He's just showing me
Oh.
how the circulation would slow down. And basically, they're sleeping. They're not really, almost like hibernation, he says, almost like a really long hibernation. It's not really like like you see in the movies where they put you in this booth and you kind of go, you freeze up.
Yeah.
It looks more like a very long hibernation.
Hmm. What do
They
they
took a
think?
really long nap, Mom.
Hmm. That's my kind of naps. Um, so they don't really want to harm us, right? So what is their intention then, being here on Earth? Just living?
Survival.
Just survival.
Survival. Yeah, it's just survival. They'll only be seen in foresty areas. That's where they feel good. That's
Hmm.
what's the
Yeah.
closest to their planet. The problem is, a lot of people want to chase them down. They want to expose them. They want to catch them. So they do try to keep their distance. And if they do feel attacked, they will kind of go after you. They won't hurt you, but they'll scare you away, is
Yeah.
what they'll do. Yeah.
Wouldn't take much. Can they see spirits like Erik? Since they're such a high vibration?
They can, he says, but they don't have the understanding that they are spirits. They just see it as energy.
Oh, okay. Now tell
Yeah.
me more about their body. Do they have genitalia? Do they have toes? I mean, do they have sharp teeth, scary
They
teeth,
have,
fangs?
he says, yes, they do have toes. They have three toes, and they do have teeth.
Okay. Sharp ones?
A lot of people will kind of, yeah, pretty sharp because they do eat raw meat, so
Yeah.
they will attack animals and things like that. Um, a lot of people will compare them with, he says, the devil themselves. They're really not the devil. They're so misunderstood, these
Yeah.
creatures.
Like Bigfoot.
So
This
misunderstood.
reminds me of Bigfoot all over again.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. Only Bigfoot just comes here on vacation, he
I
says. These
know.
guys are really stranded here. But they will disappear at one point. Unfortunately, there's no way for them to make babies.
Oh.
But they're just trying to make the best of what the time that they have left, and they really just want to help. They need to have a purpose because
Well,
this
I mean,
is
but they need to set up some sort of online dating thing, man. Like, Mothman.com or, like farmers.com or, timeforus.com, whatever. So they can hook up and make babies. Do they have genitalia?
he says yes, they do.
Okay. Good packages? Do you have big packages? I think that's
It's
channeled from
more
Erik.
it's
I swear to God.
internal.
Huh?
He's saying it is internal. It's not something that hangs out.
Okay. All right.
Internal, he
They're
says.
they're growers, not showers, huh? Okay.
He's
What's your
going, okay, hold on, Mom. Let me lift up a skirt and see if there's anything underneath there.
what is their favorite animal to eat?
They like deer and things like that. Anything that's wild.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll also. He says he's talking about how sometimes they also um, will feed on animals that have already died, so that they don't kill it themselves. So
Oh,
carcass.
okay. Oh, so scavenger type stuff. Do they convene with Bigfoot at all?
No. He's saying, Mom, Bigfoot is, I mean, they are up there when it comes to their
Yeah.
awakening, when it comes to their connection to source, they are really up there. These creatures, and if you want to know their real name, they're called Moringanos.
Oh, Moringanos. How do you spell that?
Moringona. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Right.
Moringano. Okay, cool. Now we know.
Um,
Mr. and Miss Moringano's out there.
So he's saying, yeah, although they have this high frequency sensitivity, when it comes to their enlightenment state, when it comes to their connection to source, they are really not that advanced.
Okay. Now, some say one of them at least lives in the World War II munitions dump. Is that true?
He's just in the proximity of it.
Okay. And some say they are known, or one is known to attack car roofs of parked teenagers. It's like, hey, you should be home. Quit having this hanky panky. I'm going to scare the crap out of you. So go home.
He's saying, well, actually, he's talking about how the teenager scared him.
Oh, yeah.
And he
Scary.
just went defense mode. He didn't expect anybody over there. They're showing me how it was like nighttime. So he's making me feel like he kind of got startled and he just, he didn't want to. Oh, okay. No, he's saying that he was trying to connect to them. He got startled because he didn't expect anybody to be in the forest. He got startled, but once he saw that these were people, he basically tried to communicate, but they just floored it. They just started running and screaming,
All right, what did they
basically.
try to communicate about? So, hey, what's up? How'd the
Yeah,
hanging?
they were talking about well, it looks like there were four, one, two, three, four. He's showing me four that he was trying to warn about the bridge, but he's also been trying to connect to certain people. Um, oh, he's showing me about the earth, about the storms that are coming and things like that.
Oh.
So they know, they can sense that energy. They can see the patterns are shifting and changing. So they know there's going to be storms coming. So he's making me feel like they were trying to alarm people about that as well. But
Okay.
it's hard, he says. It's hard because they really have a good heart, but there's no way for us to communicate.
Nah, that's too bad. Well, what do they think about humans anyway? How do they view us?
Um, it looks like they're not crazily fond of us, but they also don't hate us. So it just more like an acceptance that we came here and we're just going to try and live together in some way or form. They don't like the fact that people challenge them just for pleasure purpose. They will try and lurk them out. Erik says people will. They can sense that in their energy of those people who are really like, oh, we want to see you come and come, that their intentions are not right.
Yeah.
They can sense that energy, that low frequency, that it's really for self-gain, or it's for fame, or it's for catching one or hurting one or killing one, because people go out there with guns, just because they're afraid of the unknown. They don't understand them, and they can sense that energy. They're really in tune with that frequency, and then that for them is a threat. So they just try to stay away as much as they can, or they try to chase people away.
Well, why don't they eat humans if they are carnivores? What have they got against the other white meat?
Well, it has nothing to do with just because we're human. They don't like the saltiness of the flesh.
Oh, okay. All right.
Apparently, we're very salty.
Oh, who knew? Who knew? What do they think about the film that was made about them called The Mothman Prophecies, starring Richard Gere?
Oh, I've heard of that movie, me personally, but I have never seen it.
No.
I thought it was about a serial killer, and I don't like serial killer movies because it makes me feel all woo. So I have never watched it. I didn't know it was about a real Mothman.
I didn't. I heard it. I never watched it either. So, what do they think about their 1.5 hour moment of fame?
Erik says they're not really aware of that.
Oh, okay.
They don't know about it, so they don't watch TV, Mom.
Oh, well, it's a real shame that they're going to disappear eventually.
Yeah, it's just it's a dying breed, he said, unfortunately. But there's so many species out there who are dying, and we don't even have to look at the alien ones. If we just look at our own planet, species are dying as we speak, and people don't even realize it.
Some are being created too, right? New plants and things like that.
Right. And they're saying, Erik is saying that there is a plant that is really starting to blossom at this moment. It's really starting to kind of spread out right now, and that it actually comes from their planet.
Oh, they brought it with them? Like they carried the seeds on their feathers or something? Or?
Yes, they have it with them. And it's making me feel like when they got here, it was offered as gifts to different different tribes, is what he's showing me, because it has an extremely high. It's extremely high in antioxidants. And he's saying, remember, Mom, we were talking about one of the plants that was really good for illnesses, and it's really high in antioxidants. It's got the possibility to cure cancer, so on and so on. And so they're really starting to examine this plant. And the funny thing is, they have called it, because he says it's called the Morena plant.
Oh my gosh!
And he's saying that People who named it had connection to source, so
Oh.
they immediately got the reference to their planet.
So did they bring it purposely, or did it just seeds hang on to their body? And
No, they brought it intentionally to it helps them heal. That's why they can live so
oh,
long. They do get
oh,
hurt, it helps them heal. They know exactly where to find it, where to eat it. They will eat that, but they don't usually eat plants. It's just
it's a
like a
medicine.
medicine.
Yeah.
It's a
So
medicine.
wait, so they used it for trade to human tribes? Weren't those people freaked out? I mean, how did that work?
They do that. Say that again.
So they traded those seeds with human tribes?
Yes.
So didn't those humans freak out?
No, because when they did come to Earth, this was a time where alien connection was very common, and people were not
Oh,
scared as we are now.
oh, I see.
They didn't have governments then to induce all that fear into people.
Yeah.
People say,
Hmm.
"Oh well, he looks different," okay.
That's cool. So where can we find these plants?
A lot of them are in South America, but
Hmm.
they're starting to be spread out all over the world. People are
Oh,
taking
good.
the seeds and planting them all over. Yeah.
Cool. How do you spell the name of that plant?
Morena, it's Morena.
Okay. All right, sounds
Yeah.
good. Anything else about Mothman before we close and go on to our next subject, which is going to be climate change?
He's saying no, but he's saying, next time you see one,
Give them
just
a hug, man.
chill,
Yeah,
chill. He
chill.
says,
And since
chill.
they're
Scare
moth,
them and they won't scare you.
Mothmen, say, don't go into the light. We want you around. Moths to the light. No. All right. Well, thank you, Emma. And you guys connect with Emma at www.emmanuelmacintosh.com. And anything else you want to share about yourself?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who was at the Channeling Erik event in Belgium.
It
It
was
was
awesome.
an amazing experience. It was so great, and I think everybody went home with an enormous smile, and I got so many positive feedback. So thank you for everybody.
When's your next one?
So many people have asked me that. I haven't planned one yet.
We'll let you guys know when she does. And bye, Erik. I love you.
Saying bye, Mama. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Prepárate.